And that brings us back for our next talking point, Arrested Movement. And to talk about Arrested Movement is internationally acclaimed photographer, Anthony Patrick Manieri.
Woo! How are you?
I'm just introducing him. Yeah.
It's me.
Yes. Anthony, you've been on the show before
I have,
to talk
yes.
about your work, particularly your series called Arrested Movement.
Yes.
For those who don't know, what is Arrested Movement? How did this come about?
It's a portrait series with a on positive body image for, and also it's an awareness initiative as well for men. It's to include men in the narrative of body issues in the media, really, because when it's discussed in the media, it's a woman's topic, which is fine, but I believe we all struggle from. It's a human issue, I believe, so we all struggle from it. So I'm just trying to create dialogue and include that in the narrative. So. Yeah.
So how did it, now, if I remember correctly, this was the first photograph you took in the series?
Yes, that was shot in London, England.
Where?
And in London?
London?
England.
Okay, cool.
And you weren't expecting it to be a series, correct?
No, so I was there working. He was an ex-dancer, so he was doing a lot of jumps, and I asked him, like, "Well, can you do that again?" It kind of inspired me, and I said, "Can you take your clothes off and do that?" And he
Do you know
did.
how many times I've tried that?
Yes.
I'm inspired. Take your clothes off.
It's sorry.
do it.
It's a little different when you have a camera in your hand. Actually, people really listen to you when you have
I've
a
tried
camera
that
in your hand. Yeah. Okay.
Your phone camera doesn't
Phone
count.
doesn't work.
Doesn't count.
iPhone
Doesn't
camera
count.
doesn't count. Okay, fine.
So I gave him the image, and he posted it, and it kind of went viral. So it kind of gave me an inkling that there was obviously some interest in this. And when I came back to Toronto, I decided to work on a portrait series with just a small little gallery show. And I put a call out for men to come out, and 36 men came out, and they were driving through snowstorms that day. And a lot of them, I would ask them, like, why did you come today? I asked like 5 specific people to partake, and I just needed another 5 people. So I was inundated with the amount of people who showed up. So they all had pretty much the same thing to say, in the respect that, this is an important topic. It's completely out of my box, and it's going to do good for people in the environment, especially in the LGBT community. So.
And what was fascinating to me when I discovered this, and I had told you this off camera, I first learned about, you're based in Toronto.
Yes.
But I first learned about you online from a website based in the UK.
Yes.
I was like, how do we not know about you here? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no. So I reached out to you on Facebook, but what's fascinating to me is that this then grew from there, and that you've gotten so much international attention
Yes.
about this, and people are contacting you just.
Well, as far as I've gotten a lot of organic press
Yeah.
already. The series isn't finished yet. I probably have about 5 or 6 more cities that I've initially wanted to go to. And through social media, which I think is one of the biggest problems with body issues.
Yeah, Tito.
Yeah. Stop looking all flawless and make everybody feel bad about themselves.
Good times.
Worst.
Actually, no, it's not. Sorry to interrupt. The reason why I said Tito is because you always look at these like steroid bodies on Instagram and go, "Why don't I look like that?" And
Some
it's
of
like,
them are not
I love how
steroidy.
you're always like airing out Tito's laundry for everyone. Tito, what happened to that rash
him
you
too
had?
much,
We've
clearly.
talked
Did you
about
get that
this-
cream
no.
you ordered?
No. We've talked about this before, and we've talked about this before on the show. It's the fact that social media, particularly Instagram, reinforces this idea of perfection.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, though, I don't think that's perfection. I think that's more sexy than a muscle guy in six-pack.
No,
I
and I'm
agree.
not.
Yeah, that's the point of that specific picture. Right
Yeah.
there. Nailed it.
I'm not arguing. I'm saying that I think a lot. I think why your work is so important is because it takes bodies that we don't think of as, oh my God, he's so hot,
Right.
and eroticizes them in a way that, yeah, that's friggin' hot.
Yeah.
And the six-pack, steroid muscle, who cares? That's not what makes people sexy.
Absolutely.
That's what your work, to me, says.
Thanks.
I mean,
Unless
I'd
I'm
hit
getting
it.
that wrong.
No, it's great.
I think you
Yeah.
thought too. I'd hit it.
I totally hit it. It's
But
like
I mean, it's,
Insta
it's,
husband.
not, it's not just for bigger guys. It's for everyone.
No,
It's
and
for-
in fact, I mean, here's another one of your photos. You've had people reach out to you though, and
Yes.
have emotional reactions.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit about that?
So on set, I've had emotional reactions from people. They've approached me and they wanted to thank me for doing this, and have been including them. A few instances, one gentleman approached me and said, "I want to let you know why I came today." He was dealing with some terminal diseases and recently diagnosed, I think, diabetic, and his body had changed with chemotherapy and things like that. And he said, I came because this is a really important topic, and I also wanted there to be proof that I existed.
Wow.
So, having that said to me was amazing, but it was a lot to take initially. It's the message that I want people to get from this, definitely, but to actually now have people say it to me on a constant basis. So I'm getting messages pretty much daily from people around the world thanking me for creating this platform and sharing their stories with me.
Why do you think this hits such a chord with people?
I think because people are so detached from each other. And looking at social media, it's this juggernaut, it's this powerhouse, and everyone's putting out their best image of themselves, of their lifestyle, of what they just ate, and it's like there's all these body pictures. I mean, I don't follow women, no offense, on Instagram unless they're friends of mine. But I'm sure it's the same case if I had to search for it. But with me looking at men, gay men especially, it's usually all these men with fantastic bodies that are pretty much 90% naked with thousands and thousands of followers, and that for somebody at home who's struggling with being underweight or overweight, I think it causes a lot of mental health issues, right? It stirs it up anyway, definitely.
And it's yeah. Go ahead, Zaid.
It's cool to repurpose social media because a lot of these people who have these perfect bodies and this massive followings, and
God
it's
bless them for that.
Yeah, great, good for them. And it's a lot of basically outsourcing all this validation to the platform itself. And it's cool that people are telling you that your pictures of them are like he needed proof that he existed, which is validation for him, which was really, really nice.
Yeah. So sometimes when people come to the studio, depending on which city I'm in, they're quite nervous when they arrive, and when they get on set, I periodically stop during the session to bring them over to show them what we've shot so far, and it's funny to see the reaction, how they're like, "Wow, actually, I look really good," and they're really pleased with the images, and then at that point, they even open up even further, so they kind of let everything go, and I give them direction, and they just fly. And sometimes it's pretty amazing, and I feel very grateful that I'm able to witness it. Some cases I actually sit and have tears in my eyes as I'm shooting them because it's like they're just like blossoming in front of the camera. It's really, really great. So, and then when they leave, they'll leave me messages and say, they've been in therapy for years. And I didn't particularly help them out of therapy or anything like that. But what transpired on set for them that day was a lot for them. So it's really lovely.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that the issue of body image and self-confidence. There's so much pressure put on gay men, but men across the board.
Men across the board, but I think in the gay, in the LGBT
it's even
community,
worse, right?
Absolutely.
Doug
Men are terrible.
Yeah, well, Doug talks about like the difference between like gay fat is straight skinny.
Yes.
Yeah.
They get away with.
The fact that gay men are so hard on themselves about how they look, how we look, and if we don't live up to a certain expectation, then we feel horrible about ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to take a step back from that and say that there's not just one version of sexy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. absolutely. But this wasn't meant to be sexy. It's just meant about. It was an
No, but
expression
but
of
it's
self-acceptance,
beautiful.
self-empowerment, and self-love.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. If you
I-
find it sexy, that's amazing.
This photo of a trans man, I think, is. Do you have a lot of trans men?
In Chicago, I will. I'm actually photographing Buck Angel.
Wow.
Yeah, he's coming into Toronto, so I'll be photographing him in July.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. He's a
That's
really
amazing.
nice guy.
So do you have like a tour that you're doing in terms of cities?
As far as photographing,
Yeah.
yes, I have a list still of cities that I'd like to finish, but I think I may divide the series into two parts. So I'm probably ready to start to have my first show in Toronto at the end of the summer.
Have you
Wow.
done Toronto too? Like,
Yes, three times.
okay.
I smirk because I didn't want to do it 3 times, but people keep asking me to do another shoot.
Excuse me.
Sure.
No, I just
And I
didn't
told
want-
you,
I didn't-
I'll take my
Humble brag.
clothes off. I'm always up for taking my
well,
clothes off.
we talked about that, but I didn't want to be like, oh, this guy's doing it again. Like I didn't want
Yeah.
that, you know.
Oh, her.
Yeah.
Plus, I've shot 3 times in Toronto, so I'm up to about 90 men I've shot just in Toronto alone.
As opposed to Tito, who's shot on 90 men in Toronto.
Boom!
It's been more. Relax. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Except you, friend.
Well, if people are interested in taking a look at your work, contacting you, how do they do that?
So they can find me at arrestedmovement.com. There's a new website that should be out hopefully in the next 2-3 weeks. I was hoping for Pride, but you can also find me on Instagram at Arrested Movement.
Great.
As well, yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Photographer Anthony Patrick Manieri. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/ThePointGuys. We'll be right back.